I say this week's NBA games because I'm just going to be talking about the opening night game, which is today. As you're watching this video, one of the games are probably already done with while you're watching this video, and the next day's, tomorrow's games. And we're just going to be talking about them, the matchups, who we're thinking going to win, maybe the best player of that game, things like that. So that's what we're going to be doing today. A little bit of a writing video as well, so hopefully you guys will enjoy that. Yesterday, I posted a video on the best NBA teams to not win championships, and if you guys are interested in that, make sure you guys go and check out that video. I am uploading it every day, December. We are almost at 5K subs. I think we're at 4.8 and some change, maybe. I'm not even entirely sure, so make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. That's totally crazy. We're almost at 5K by the end of the year. Like, I can't even thank you guys enough. That's literally insane. So thank you guys so much for that. Make sure to like the video if you like the video, and let's get started. Okay, so I basically just have the NBA app open right now, and I'm looking at the games, and I'm just gonna be going in order. So I'm just gonna put week 1. It's just easier to say that than opening night, because opening night only has 2 games, and technically, like, opening night goes into the next games the next day. So I'm just gonna say week 1, even though I'm just gonna be talking about the first 2 days, just because I think it'd be easier to title this video. That's pretty bad, but anyways, week 1. And then the first game, the very first game of the NBA 2020-2021 season is the Golden State Warriors. Hopefully you guys can see this, by the way. Gotta make sure that happens. We have the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors. IRS versus the Brooklyn Nets. And for this matchup, obviously, you know, the first matchup of Kevin Durant and the Golden State Warriors, basically, we have Kyrie Irving going against Steph Curry, and it's going to be a very cool NBA game to watch. Now, do not think that, you know, KD is going to be playing like a bunch of minutes, like 40 minutes in the NBA this year. I feel like they're going to take KD very slow and gentle in this year's NBA, especially at the beginning of the season. Same thing with Kyrie Irving. I think they're going to just try to readjust them, get them NBA playoff ready, and then in the playoffs we'll see the true, in my opinion, the true comeback of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. So do not think of Kevin Durant in these next couple games, couple weeks, maybe even couple months of being the return of Kevin Durant at his prime. And then with the Warriors, I think the same thing. They're just trying to ramp up their sort of team to get ready to make those playoff pushes later on in the season, where hopefully they've made enough ground during that time period to make a nice playoff push to, you know, get a nice 6th, 5th, 7th seed, maybe 8th seed. We're going to see what they're really going to be made of. So for this first game, oh man, I really do like the Warriors and the Warriors' chance. This is going to be a very good game. I'm obviously going to be watching all these games, but in my opinion, I think that the depth of the Brooklyn Nets, with the additions of KD and Kyrie Irving, plus their sort of hype around this team, is going to be very important to them. So I think the Nets win. I think, again, they have Kevin Durant, they have Kyrie Irving, so already sort of outmatches the star power the Warriors have now. Obviously with Steph and Clay, that's very arguable. But, you know, with Steph, Draymond, and James Wiseman, they all haven't really played together because of, you know, getting sick. I can't say really with what, knowing YouTube, but, you know, they haven't really played fully together, and it's sort of like a new team. They still have to integrate Oubre and all these these guys. You all look really good. Don't get me wrong, but I think just having this amazing Nets team and you're just plopping Kevin Durant in is going to be more efficient than having to go through this readjustment the Warriors are going through. I think the first game, I'm picking the Brooklyn Nets for that one. And then for game number 2, we have the Los Angeles Clippers. I'm just going to put the Clippers. C-L-I-B-B-E-R-S versus the LA Lakers. L-A-K-E-S. We have the Los Angeles Clippers versus the LA Lakers. My God, I wonder how that happened. Yeah, you know for a fact the NBA made sure that happened because they definitely want to make a lot of money during this season because they're going to be losing a lot of money, this being only a 72 game season. Man, that's going to be a very good matchup. But, and I know this is probably very early to pick this, but you know for a fact that the LA Clippers are going to be playing this game as if it was Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals. They are going to want to get every single up they can get over the Lakers this season. So when the playoff comes, and if they do match up like we wished for last year, they would have the edge over the Lakers and knowing that they've beaten them multiple times, just like they did last regular season. So I think the Clippers are going to play this game exactly like they did last year. They are going to come out, blaze of glory, just trying to defeat the Lakers so badly, just like the little brother trying to beat up on the big brother. They're going to go for every single little shot in order to beat the Lakers, and I think they'll do it. I think they'll win opening night like they did last year. Now, I know this is going to be, I think this is at the Lakers, I think. So if that's the case, I think the Lakers do get their ring ceremony going on. So maybe the Lakers see that and they do try to get the edge over the Clippers, but I don't think, LeBron and Anthony Davis, all those guys, they're playing for championships. They do not care about these little, puppy dog games that they're going to play throughout the regular season. They are in it to win it all. And with that being said, I just don't really think they're going to be going gunzo like the LA Clippers are. So I'm picking the Clippers for that game. So the first game on Wednesday, the 23rd, let's see here. Oh, that's actually a pretty interesting game. It's actually LaMelo Ball's first game. It is the Charlotte Hornets versus the Cavs, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Man. Another game I'm definitely going to be watching. I'm going to be very excited to see finally happen with having LaMelo Ball. Gordon Hayward, Miles Bridges looks really good in the preseason games. He looks very athletic, very bigger. He looks like more of an athletic player for sure. Very more well put together. And then for the Cavs, you have a sort of revitalized team. You still have Drummond, Kevin Love. You have Isaac Okoro who hit that game winner. That was pretty cool. And Sexton and Garland. It's basically just the same Cavs team versus a brand new sort of uprising Hornets team, which is very interesting to see. Man, I really do like the Hornets' chance of winning this game, but I still feel like LaMelo has definitely a lot to learn in the NBA, and it finally being the first sort of game, I feel the Cavs are just going to very much hunker down on LaMelo, make sure he has a very bad game. Sort of like how Lonzo Ball was when his first rookie season happened. They were dogging Lonzo so much because he was so overhyped and whatnot. So I think the Cavs just have maybe a more talented team. I mean, Sexton is still really good. They have Love, Drummond. I really like Isaac Okoro. I just think the Cavs will probably get this done. Plus, it's at the Cavs, which I don't know if will really make a difference. But I think the Hornets are going to be a team that make a sort of bigger, better push later on in the season to make the playoffs. I feel like the Cavs are just a more established team, if that makes any sense. Pacers next. Let's check these guys out. The New York Knicks, NICKS versus the, who was it? I didn't even look. Oh, Indiana Pacers. Well, this might be an easy one to pick. Well, actually, maybe not as easy as people think. I think this is actually going to be a closer game than people give it credit for. Obviously, being Pacers and Knicks. Pacers made the playoffs. Knicks were at the, near the bottom of the bracket there in the Eastern Conference. So, I think the Knicks are going to look really good this year. They're going to look more established, play better, know the game a little bit better. Obviously, having Obi Toppin and all their young guys are going to be another year in, which hopefully you will hope for player development. But I mean, this is also going to be a game where we can sort of just see the Pacers sort of pull away and just dominate, which is a very big possibility. It's just the same Pacers team. They haven't gotten any better. They haven't gotten any worse. They still have Oladipo, Sabonis, Turner, Malcolm Brogdon. Still a very good team. Pretty easy to call this game in my opinion. But I feel like the Knicks are going to be. They could win. They should. Any of these teams can obviously win these games. It's the NBA. Any team is a good team. So I feel like it'll still be fun to watch. I'm still going to watch it if I can. But nothing too crazy in my opinion. Game 3 of that night are the Miami Heat and the Orlando Magic. Let's see this. We have the reigning Eastern Conference champions and their division rivals in the same state. Pretty dope. The Magic, G-I-C. This is also a very good game. I actually have no idea if any of these are going to be on TV. I'm trying to look, and I can't see. Oh, well, it says right here, it says TNT for some of the games. I'm assuming these ones probably aren't going to be, but that would be a really cool game to watch for sure. The Magic just recently in the news for re-signing, thank God, Jonathan Isaac, and also, thank God, they re-signed Markelle Fultz. That's his name. They re-signed Markelle Fultz, so finally, they get that reassurance of Markelle being there for their future point guard, which I really want them to do. Markelle is looking really good. It's just like the same thing as Ben Simmons. If Markelle Fultz can finally get a confident jump shot, that dude is going to be maybe, potential all-star type player in a couple years once he's just, getting smarter and better at being a point guard. But with all that being said, Miami's still one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference, especially with Jimmy Buckets and how that team is. Still with Bam Adebayo, one of the best centers in the NBA. Still got Tyler Hero, Doug Robinson, Kendrick Nunn, Dragic. Still have a very deep, well-rounded team who might even get James Harden by the year's end, which is very, very, very scary to think about. So, I love this game. It's going to be a fun game. We get to see if the Magic have gotten any better going up against one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. I think it's going to be a good matchup to see where the Magic sort of place in the East this year. That is very stacked. Probably more stacked than it's ever been. So, next up we have the Washington Wizards and the Philadelphia 76ers. Let's check this out. We have the Wizards, right? Yeah. I almost said John Wall, Jesus Christ. Russell Westbrook's first game on the Washington Wizards. That's going to be very cool to see for sure. And they are going up against the 76ers. Super cool game. Oops, sorry about that. So like I said, this is going to be Russell Westbrook's first game of the year on the Wizards with Bradley Beal, with my boy Denny. Hopefully he gets it, gets the shine he deserves. And also the 76ers with a sort of revitalized team, a new coach, new GM. Definitely need some new shooters on the team as well. Definitely going to be a very good matchup in my opinion. It's actually going to be a pretty competitive game, for sure. I'm just going to very much hope that we're just going to see a close game, because if not, I think the 76ers could definitely pull away with a big, humongous blowout win if the Wizards don't get their act together. But, man, I really want to pick an upset and say the Wizards, because, Russell Westbrook wants to come out here, just start the season off with a bang, beating one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference, with the Wizards now having sort of this dominant player in Russell Westbrook. But I think I might just great team. You're plopping in Eric Bledsoe, but it's still a new team. Probably gonna learn a new things here and there. And with the Celtics, it's basically just the same team that it was last year. Sure, you have Tristan Thompson instead of Enes Kanter, but it's still a lot of young guys just getting another year in and another year better. And man, I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know. Man, because if you look at it from both teams, with the Bucks, you want to put teams in their place as being the one seed last year, having Giannis and Giannis re-signing for the years to come. You want the Bucks to make a big push at the beginning of the year, solidifying them as the best team in the NBA. And then with the Celtics, you can look at them from the other perspective of, dang, this can be our year. We have to knock off, Giannis and the Bucks off their high horses. This is the chance, and this might be my first upset of the maybe of the entire video, if you want to call it that. But this is still a really close game. I'm gonna pick the Celtics. I'm gonna believe that the Celtics are going to try their literal very best, sort of like the Clippers and the Lakers. It's the same thing with the Bucks and the Celtics. The Celtics and a lot of these other Eastern Conference teams are going to try to take the Bucks out as soon as they can, showing that they are the better, more, better team. So if the playoffs come around and they face them, just sort of like how Miami did with the Bucks last year, beating them in the regular season, showing like dominance, I guess, showing that you can be beaten. And I think the Celtics are going to try and do that this first game, especially the first game of the season. You gotta hit hard and fast. So I'm picking the Celtics. That's going to be a really good game, but obviously the Bucks will probably be the safer of the two picks. Alrighty, next up on the, I guess, games for the second day, we have the Pelicans. We have the New Orleans Pelicans versus, was it the Raptors? Yep, the Toronto Raptors. That's going to be a really good game as well. Congrats to OG Anunoby for re-signing his contract with the Raptors. Very, very proud of him. He's getting I think he's getting paid, isn't he? Getting paid almost $100 million for the coming years. That's totally insane. But then you also have, sorry, you can hear my microphone rubbing up against that. With Lonzo Ball not re-signing with the Pelicans, he's going to be a restricted free agent this next upcoming season. So hey, Charlotte might actually get the Ball brothers together on the Charlotte Hornets. That's going to be super crazy if that ever did happen. So, Raptors and Pelicans. I think this is going to be a really good game, really close game, a game that's going to be very fun to watch. I think this is going to be one of the TNT games as well for that day. And don't get me wrong, I love me some Pelicans, but the Raptors are still a very established team, basically bringing back the same group of guys, nothing really to change, nothing really to do anything different, and they're one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference. So, again, a game that can go really either way with the Pelicans and the Raptors, but I am picking the Raptors over the Pelicans just due to the fact that the Pelicans are still a very young team. They're still going to be learning, doing a lot of, game learning, just trying to get better on their own games to just jumpstart this Pelican sort of rebuild they're going through. But with the Raptors, they're established. They still have their same group of guys that re-signed Fred VanVleet and all their guys as well. So I'm still going to pick the Pelicans over the Raptors over the Pelicans, even though Zion and Ingram could really have a good game, and it could definitely be the other way around, but I'm just going to do a safe pick there. Next up, we have the Atlanta Hawks. Versus, I think it was the Bulls, was it not? Yep, the Chicago Bulls. Again, another really good game. It could be very, very, very competitive. And for the Bulls, the Bulls get counted out every year for the playoff run, and it's always because they really never get any significantly better. And same thing with this offseason. I didn't really see them get really any better. I mean, sure, they have the same young core group of guys who can develop and get better, which is good. They have a new rookie who they're very high on. He has very, fast potential. But come on, I mean, we all know that set. Zach LaVine, Trae Young, this, that, and the other. Very comparable in that sort of sense. But the Hawks, I feel like, are just a better put together team, in my opinion. Then we have the Thunder and the Rockets. My God. Two definitely interesting teams. Just due to the fact that the Thunder are a team that are finally in their tank mode, which is pretty good in my opinion. It's what they should have done last year. And the Houston Rockets, who honestly might be doing the same thing if they do end up trading James Harden. So, as of right now, as I'm recording this video, James Harden's still on the Houston Rockets. And honestly, going up against a team like the Thunder, I think all you really need is just to have James Harden to beat a team like the Thunder. Knowing that they're going to be tanking, knowing their team isn't really that great, no offense to any Thunder fans out there, but they really just have Shea, and that's really about it. Now, could the Rockets just play really bad because they're a new team, and James Harden is maybe not going to play as hard as he would with a contending team like the Nets, the Heat, the 76ers, someone like that? Sure, it's very possible. Or James Harden can come out here, score like 60 points in this game to show the NBA, hey, I'm still one of the top guys in the league, put some respect on my name in this team, and just totally blow out the Thunder. That's very option that could happen. Or the Thunder, with all their young groups of guys, don't really like to be told off and continue their good play that they had last year. Even though they're not going to have Chris Paul, it's still very possible that their young core group of guys, plus, you have Al Horford, Trevor Ariza, pretty smart NBA players that could definitely upset a team like Houston, but I don't think it's really going to happen. But I think the Rockets are probably the best and safest pick here. Man, we still have a lot of teams to go, man. We now have the San Antonio Spurs. Going up against the Memphis Grizzlies, which, if you guys didn't know, this used to be a very, very good matchup to watch in the NBA back in the day when both these teams were in their heydays. Now it looks like the Grizzlies are in their sort of up-and-coming stages, and the Spurs are going through their rebuild. But, oh man, this is actually kind of tougher than I can think. Or is it? I don't really know. I mean, I really haven't really picked a lot of upsets, really. And I think the upset would actually be, for the first time in maybe a lot of years, would be the Spurs beating the Grizzlies, which back in the day, if you said that, that would be blasphemy. But, again, just kind of like with a lot of the teams that I was just talking about, like the Hawks and some of the other teams we were talking about before, teams that are just showing their place and showing that, hey, we are a good team, even though we're young and upcoming. Like I said before, like the Pelicans, you can do the same thing, but I think the Raptors are just a higher team, and I think the Spurs are, again, in probably tank season mode. I'm gonna pick the Grizzlies to beat the Spurs this game. It might be a close game, but I think being so close to the playoffs last year, I think the Grizzlies really want to put themselves in the best case scenario into being a playoff team this year, and obviously having to outgun teams like the Pelicans and the Blazers and the Rockets, the Warriors, all those sort of teams, and the Jazz that are in that sort of 5th to 10th, 8th, 9th seeded teams. The Grizzlies want to get a big push on those teams. Beating a team like the Spurs or in that sort of same category would be very good for that team. So I'm gonna pick the Grizzlies. We now have the Detroit Pistons. Detroit basketball. Pistons. Whoops. Versus, was it the Timberwolves? Yes, it was the T-Wolves. I'm just gonna put the T-Wolves. Pistons versus the Timberwolves. You gotta put some respect on Derrick Rose and Blake Griffin when talking about the Pistons. They are the only good thing about that team, and I really do hope that they can finally one day get it turned around. But I don't think this year is going to be that year, and their day is not going to be that day on this game night, because I feel like the Timberwolves are just a better team, more talent. I feel like the Timberwolves are almost like a forgotten team in the Western Conference. We always talk about, the Grizzlies, the Pelicans. Oh my God, the Suns. They're up and coming. They're going there for of teams are sleeping on the Timberwolves, and a lot of people are as well, with Karl Anthony Towns, D'Angelo Russell. You got Ant-Man. You got their guys like Okogie and Culver, and I feel like they have a really good chance. So I'm gonna pick the Timberwolves to win this game and maybe even be a sleeper team in the Western Conference for sure this year. Next up we have the Kings, the Sacramento Kings. I might just talk about these last couple teams because I really don't want to waste all this paper on these games. I'm sorry guys, but I feel like you guys have gotten enough writing sounds in this video for one night versus the Denver Nuggets. Ooh, baby, Western Conference showdown over here. The Kings and the Pelicans. The Kings and the Nuggets. Very excited to see how the Nuggets play this year with Michael Porter Jr. And Bol. I think he's going to get a lot of minutes this year as well. The Kings are basically still in the same sort of area where they were last year. They're not any better. Actually, they're probably worse now, not having Bogdanovic. They did pick up Hassan Whiteside, which was actually a pretty decent pickup. You know, he's going to get good minutes and good stats, but I think this is another game where I don't really see an upset really happening. In my opinion, the Kings are going to be struggling a lot, and I'm scared for them because I actually do really like the Kings, but man, I just do not see the Kings winning this game at all, especially with the Nuggets. It might be a revenge season for the Nuggets. Watch out for them. They might be a team that could come out and be the number one seed in the West this year. They could even come out of the West this year. They're a very tough team to sort of put in rank because their X factors are just so major. As you know, who is going to be that third option? It could be Michael Porter Jr. Jesus, it could be Bol. Maybe Gary Harris has a backup, a comeback season, and everything is back to the way it used to be in Denver. So I'm picking them to win. And then for the final one we're going to be riding here are the Utah Jazz versus another Western Conference showdown, the Blazers. Man, this is going to be a good game. Oh my god. As a Blazer fan, I did see the Blazers schedule, and my god, the first like 10 games for the Blazers can go like, the Blazers could actually really be like 0-5, 0-6 at the start of the season this year. It's going to be a very tough start for the Blazers, but again, it's going to be hard for them at the beginning, hopefully easier for them at the end. I really do like the Jazz, and with Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert in this game, they're going to be really good. Everything's going to be fine. Man, I really want to pick the Jazz this game because the Blazers are just a new team, and we saw last year when they were all healthy, it did take them a pretty decent amount of time to get readjusted into playing with a new team. But this team, again, this next season, they're going to be a new team as well. So, you know what? Blazer fans, forgive me, but I think I'm going to go with the upset. Maybe you think the Jazz will be better, but I think I'm going to pick the Jazz. I feel like the Jazz are just, it's literally the same Jazz team playing like they did in the last year, going up against a new Blazer team with a new roster, new rotations, new feel for the game, and I feel like that's going to hurt them a little bit the first couple weeks in games. And you know, this could definitely be wrong, but I keep picking the safer picks in all of my picks, so I think this upset, if you want to call it that, because I know people are playing the Blazers as being one of the best teams in the West this upcoming year. I'm picking the Jazz just because they're a more situated team, play together longer. I feel like they'll just be more comfortable out there, in my opinion. And the last team I won't be able to write down are going to be the Dallas Mavericks and the Phoenix Suns. I'm going to pick the Dallas Mavericks to win this game. Dallas are going to be on a tear this year. They're going to be trying their very, very, very best to give Luka Doncic the best case scenario into being the MVP and to making a very big push into being title contenders. Do they need more pieces? I think yes, but the pieces they did get last offseason, are going to be very valuable and going to help out the team a lot defensively on the perimeter. Hopefully, knocking on wood, health for the team with Kristaps Porzingis and Powell. For the Suns, I feel like it would be a very good team, but again, like the Blazers, they're a good team. They'll probably make the playoffs, but they're going to need time to readjust and sort of figure out how to play their best basketball together with, see. And yeah, with that being said, if you liked the video, make sure you like the video, subscribe, almost at 5K, and I'll see you again in my next